Welcome, everybody. We are so thankful to have you here joining us. Let me make sure we're actually streaming in the right location. It's a question mark. I think we're off to the races here. Yes, we are. Okay, cool. I can see we are indeed streaming to the right location. Always some technical challenges. You gotta have technical issues. It's not a live stream without some snafu. So, anyway, thank you all. We are super appreciative of you joining us for today's special live class. We have a special guest here. We have Sadie Smiley. Sadie, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
We're really pumped to have all of you joining here. We'd love to hear. I see, oh my God, we have so many people already live. This is amazing. I would love to hear, where are y'all tuning in from? I see Nita, Jay, we've got Dogs, Cultural, Pam, Manana, some really fun names here. This is awesome, you guys. Thank you for joining. Please pop into the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. I'd love to hear. I'm here in Colorado. Sadie, I know you're at home. Where's home for you?
For right now, I'm in Arizona.
Nice. And I'm sure it's very nice and cool and not 105 degrees this time of year.
Usually it is 105 right now, but today it's only like 85, so not terrible at all. It's perfect.
Ooh, all right. Beautiful. We have people tuning in from everywhere here. This is awesome. Bay Area, California, small town Utah. Lizzie, what's up? Raleigh, North Carolina. Oh, this is so good. Washington. Yes. I see so many familiar faces. Thank you guys. This is so cool. We really appreciate you. Now, today, our topic is going to be AI lead magnets. And we're going to be showing you some examples of AI lead magnets. We're going to show you how to make them. We're going to show you how to come up with your right ideas, ones that are keyword research backed and have the potential to drive SEO traffic. That's one of the main points of creating lead magnets, is to drive traffic to them from search engines, create opportunities to grow your traffic, and to get people to join your email list, right? So whether you're doing lead generation and you want to connect one-on-one with the people that are signing up for your email list, you have a service to offer them, products you want to sell them, or you're just growing your email list for future marketing purposes. It doesn't really matter where you're at today. It's very smart to have an email list because, as Sadie and I were just talking about before we hit live, sometimes platforms like Facebook can sometimes go down. They can pull surprises on you. And having an email list, having alternative traffic sources like SEO means you're hedging your bets against being too platform dependent.
Yes, good old Facebook. You guys know I love Facebook groups, but the number one thing that I use my Facebook group for is to grow my email list. And that's why I've got 20,000 people in my Facebook group and I've got 20,000 people on my email list because I am constantly hammering over their heads, please get on my email list just in case something funky happens. You want to be able to get a hold of your people.
Exactly. And it's basically a one-to-one line of communication with people too. So you can be way more intimate, way more personable. And I mean, you get to own that channel. It's a pretty special thing to be able to show up in someone's inbox and deliver value. So that's kind of the framing for our class today, guys. And I want to encourage you. We're going to make a lot of time. Sadie and I are doing some Q&A towards the end. And we want to also help give you tool ideas. So anytime you want to pop a question you have into a chat, if you feel something, say something. That's our policy here today. So if you have a question come up, please ask in the chat. There's never a wrong time. We'll make some time towards the end to pull these up on the screen during the hour we have together. And towards the end of this session, we also want to give you actionable tool ideas that you can make and use as lead magnets across your website. So if you want to share your website, if you want to be a guinea pig, a test subject here for us, if you're feeling courageous today, drop in the link to your website in the chat and we'll get to as many as we can. We've got a couple pulled up from people who reached out to me from the email we sent out promoting this stream. And so we'll show some examples of how to come up with good tool ideas and how to make those tools using Tool Studio. So without further ado, Sadie, do you want to add anything else before we jump in and start jamming on this?
I see a lot of my VIPs in the chat. They better leave their URLs because I already know their URLs. So I'm just going to give them to you anyway. But we would like volunteers.
I love that. Willing or unwilling, some of y'all will be volunteers today. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to introduce the topic today by just talking very quickly about Tool Studio, which is the place that we're going to be using to develop these lead magnets, these tools, kind of an interchangeable term that we're going to be using here today. These lead magnets are built using WriteBlogger's Tool Studio, and I'm going to pop the link here into the chat. This is Sadie's URL, writeblogger.com/pips, P-I-P-S. This is where you can go to sign up for a free WriteBlogger account if you don't already have one. All you need is a free WriteBlogger account to make these lead magnets, these tools that we're going to be walking through the process of how to create them here during this live class. So as long as you got a free account, you'll be able to create these tools. You will need to upgrade to the Pro WriteBlogger subscription in order to activate them and have them functioning on your website in order to actually collect those leads and drive email subscribers to your list. Now, I see a really good comment here that I need to share on the screen because it's so good. Wandering Smileys, lead magnet equals way to collect emails to go on your list. So a free checklist or something delivered to your people in exchange for their email addresses. Thank you very much. Excellent description of what a lead magnet is. So let's get down to business, y'all. Writeblogger.com/pips. If you want to make that free account, if you don't already have one, if you want to follow along with us, please do so. You can go to WriteBlogger and then make sure you're logged in and just play along with us. So you'll be able to find Tool Studio by navigating here. Once you're logged in from the /tools menu, Tool Studio is always going to be on the left-hand side, located just right here at the top of the tools menu. And you're going to see something like this. Now, before we get to actually making the tools, I want to show you just a few quick examples, including one of Sadie's. And you can find all of my favorite examples of tools by just going to ryrob.com/blog. If you want inspiration, if you want to see how tool pages function in ways that drive SEO traffic, click on any of these and they're going to be really good case study examples. And I'll show you just one really quickly here. This is my keyword research tool. Now, you can make a version of this using WriteBlogger's Tool Studio, and we're working on some more features that'll help you connect different data sources to it. So stay tuned for that. Andy couldn't join us here today, but I'm going to let him chime in if you have questions about making tools that pull live data like this, because this is something we're working towards in the weeks to come. But just to show you real quick, the potential here for making free tools, right? We talked about SEO traffic. Now, right here, this is not an incognito search. So I don't usually rank number 1 for free keyword research tool, but I rank around number 2, number 3 for this tool on my blog. And you can see it's featured in the AI overviews here as one of the sources. And this tool drives a ton of traffic to my site. A ton. How do we quantify that, right? Let's look really quickly at Search Console. Now, free keyword research tool, just that search alone, that's the only search. Take out all the other ones that this tool ranks for, like keyword tool, keyword research tool, long tail keyword tool, lots of different terms that this ranks for. Just this free keyword research tool alone, this term is responsible for almost 4,000 clicks from just Google, almost 83,000, almost 84,000 impressions just from Google on this one keyword tool. So when you add all this stuff up, you can see all of these top queries for my site right now. Pretty much all of them are free tools I've made. And almost all of these free tools you can make using WriteBlogger's Tool Studio as well. So Tool Studio is our answer to how do you guys capture some of this awesome SEO traffic and then grow your email list from that traffic. So moving on real quick, we're almost to Sadie's example, which I'm really stoked about, but to show you quick answering a question. Sadie got this question quite a lot from her crew. Can you embed these tools you're making on landing pages and on blog posts. Can these tools live in more than one destination at a time? The answer is yes. I made this day hike planning tool for Yosemite National Park, and I set it up on this dedicated landing page that we'll walk through. We'll show you sort of the SEO details here later on in this session about what makes an SEO landing page for a tool function. But for the most part, it's pretty simple. We generate all this stuff for you, first drafts, in WriteBlogger's Tool Studio, and we'll show you that a little bit later on, but this is what a landing page looks like. Now, here is a related blog post where I talk about my favorite hikes in Yosemite, and then I just dropped this tool, the same exact tool, the hike planner tool. I dropped it into this blog post, and once I did that, I saw that the average time spent on this page, this blog post, went up pretty significantly, which means people are using this tool. And I could see inside my Tool Studio account, we've got analytics on how these tools are being used. Let's see. Here's Yosemite Hike Planner. And I could see that people were using this tool more as a result of me embedding it inside a blog post and on its own dedicated landing page at the same time. We got loading errors here. So yes, you can embed tools in blog posts and on separate landing pages. You could embed the same tool that you make inside Tool Studio into multiple blog posts. And the purpose here is that when people come and they have some sort of interactive lead magnet to get really personalized, custom advice and outputs from, that is like crazy value. And most people are going to use a tool like this probably a couple of times. And so when that time on page goes up, you're going to see your rankings almost pretty much like consistently go up as well, especially if this tool is closely related to the topics you cover, the niche that your website's in. If you're doing a good job of nailing that keyword research, of meeting the demand, then your tools are going to do really well for you. Now, I think we timed out on this page, so let me just quickly refresh. There we go. Okay, so let's show you guys Sadie's example here. And Sadie, I'd love for you to introduce this tool, and I'll do the scrolling. You tell us all what this tool is about, what inspired the idea, why you made this one.
Yeah, so I just made this for an example for this live before Facebook effectively banned my profile and I couldn't be in my Facebook group. But I made it to show off the landing page generator part that you guys have in the Tool Studio. So when you guys look at this post, like I did write the intro myself, and I didn't even really think about keyword stuff when I did. You guys need to make sure that you are focusing on that. But from the intro down, so like at the bottom it says, so I did a thing, I made a Facebook group naming generator. From that point down is landing page creator. I have not edited it yet. I feel like we can go through on this live, and maybe Ryan, you can tell me how you would edit it if it was on your website.
Yeah, this is the right question. Thank you for asking. Now, I love that you used our first draft of the page copy to get you started here. And I also want to call out to everyone here. Sadie has such a cool style and like writing tone, and like she does a really good job of pulling her personality through in her writing. And in the age of AI, where it's so easy to just generate some blah content and publish it online, people will really, really resonate with your personality. That's the reason that someone's going to want to follow you, take your advice, join your course, hire you as a service provider, whatever that is, they're going to be buying you. So think about that as you're making all of your content, especially these tool landing pages, because these can pretty quickly get a lot of traffic and you want them to look, feel, and sound like you. So first feedback, you're nailing that. So I did a thing, right? Like this is very you from how I know you too. And I like that you also talked about like the inspiration for this tool. I get this question a lot. And I know this is something that comes up with your community a lot. So I think that everything about how this tool came to be, perfect, solid. The title is great. I have a feeling this is probably the meta title, meta description that you got from Tool Studio. Now, when you make these tools, we suggest a title, a description, and the landing page copy. So this is looking pretty good to me. Facebook group name generator. I wouldn't change this at all. All of the front part, perfect. I think where there's maybe some opportunity to tool it up a little bit would be to drop this bit and maybe the I don't even know what this
Mm-hmm.
is freaking called,
Divider thingy.
the divider thingy, the technical name for it. I love it. I would consider maybe ditching this portion and saying SEO Facebook names or SEO Facebook group names.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just get
Mm-hmm.
that like intent really jammed in there. I don't think Google would punish you for having that in there kind of twice, just a variation of it twice. I think that if that fits, then I would do that as an experiment. But honestly, this is pretty good too.
I almost took like the whole second part off because I didn't like it, but I was like trying not to touch it as much as possible just so people could see like what it came up with. So yeah, I did like make a little section bold, but yeah, besides that, I didn't touch anything.
Cool, I dig it. I like that you've got images here. Now, the only like big piece of feedback I'd have here is probably bumping this tool up higher on the page. So for the most part, when someone lands on a tool page, this is very different than landing on a blog post. And this is something that I've been
Mhm.
noticing a lot. I do free complimentary strategy calls with all of our Right Blogger Pro customers. And so I chat with like 10 of our customers a week. Shout out to all you. I saw some familiar names in the chat. And I have so much fun doing it. But one of the big things that I end up teaching related to the difference on tool pages versus blog posts is that blog posts, you typically want a really personality strong intro. Tool pages, you want people to pretty much immediately visually see the tool before they scroll. That helps them to confirm, oh yes, this is indeed what I'm after. Like this page is delivering on what my expectation is. And just as real humans are feeling that out as they land on a page, so are search engine algorithms. They're figuring out like, okay, there's 50 words, there's 100 words, however many words this is, before there's this interactive tool on the page. Now, this might work fine for you. I know you also have like, you have pretty good domain authority. Like, this is a topic related to stuff that you speak to a lot on your site. So all of the other factors about your site might carry this page without needing to like super duper optimize it. But to give it a bit of a better shot, I personally would bump up the tool higher on the page to maybe being like just below the first paragraph, or move the image down so you have a little bit more real estate and then have the tool right here, or
I was actually going to
shortly
ask
after
about
this.
that because I love how yours is like at the way top, and that's above my pay grade. I don't know how to do that yet, so I've got to figure that out. That's where I would ideally like for it to be, is like at the way top. But yeah, that was the first question that I had because it didn't feel like it didn't seem to fit, because my whole post, the landing page copy was like leading up to using the tool, but the tool's at the top. And I was just like, well, the tool should be at the bottom because they need to read all this stuff first. But you've taught us from the beginning using Tool Studio, it needs to be at the top. So my brain was just ping ponging back and forth, like, how close to the top does it even make sense to be there? But it's pretty self explanatory how to use it. So I feel like the landing page stuff is really just like extra if they don't understand how to use it, maybe. Is that kind of how you're like seeing it?
You totally nailed it. Like you have to think of tool pages as completely separate intent, basically. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, some people from your audience, your Facebook group, your email list, your crew will come to this tool and they're going to love seeing that I have two amazing Facebook
Mm-hmm.
groups, right? They're going to love your personality led intro.
Mm-hmm.
But you do need to put yourself in the shoes of like the random person searching on Google or the person who stumbles on your YouTube video about this or your short form TikTok that talks about this tool. And
Mm-hmm.
that person who doesn't have previous context relationship with you, they just want to use the tool first. And
Mm-hmm.
the most engaged of those people are going to sign up for your email list after they use the tool. They're going to want to read more. They're going to seek out further education, right? So I would, now that we're talking about this even more, I would maybe just bump the tool up above any of the other content, with the exception of maybe having like a 1 or 2 sentence description. Pretty much what I do here. There's like a 3 sentence description. This is a little too much, to be honest. It's a little wordy. But having kind of a like quick description beneath the title of the page and then the tool, that's a good recipe for these pages. So you talk a lot about homework. I think that's homework assignment number one.
Yeah, I just moved it up, so that's awesome. I just need to come up with a description for
Yes.
the thing.
I love it. We're making changes
Yeah.
in real time here. Hell yeah. This looks much better from a user experience
Yeah.
perspective. Like if I'm clicking through on
Yeah.
Google, searching for help, coming up with
Mm-hmm.
names, right? I land
Yeah.
here, I see the tool right away. I start using it right away, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the pro of getting the tool up first, is that as soon as you get someone using the tool, it's going to increase your average time spent on page. And that is like low key one of Google's favorite metrics these days for prioritizing what content, what pages they're going to be ranking in the SERPs. So major, major positive move here. Now, let's quickly move through the rest. I'll give you some feedback here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm digging the header twos, right? I know you said you just used pretty much the copy that was generated by Tool Studio for at least the first draft of all this. Solid image. I like this. This is the kind of image that would get swooped up in like a Google image search or something. So I like that. And then yeah, you've got kind of the like objection handling, the meeting the problem, describing the solution here, and then some how it works. This is good. Like it's simple. You use nice formatting elements. This, I would make sure this appears as a one. This might be just a
Mm-hmm. I
WordPress
see.
glitch or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then key benefits, examples and use cases. The only sort of section that I would say could be missing would be FAQs. And I think
You guys
usually,
give you guys give FAQs.
okay,
I just didn't like them, so I deleted them because
fair.
they were getting yeah. But because this is a first draft, this would actually be like if I was publishing this and letting it sit, like it would be longer and it would probably have a few more images. But yeah, I couldn't keep the FAQs on there. They just felt so silly. So I need to make my own FAQs, but I can go in and have Write Blogger just like redo the FAQs in the chat or whatever. This was literally I mean, it didn't take me more than 10 minutes to do start to finish this whole thing because those images were designed in ideogram. And so start to finish, this whole page was 10 minutes for a rough draft. And I just wanted to show everybody like how easy it is. I don't want you guys to think that you have to sit down and have hours worth of free time to get a tool up. I wouldn't publish a rough draft like this. I did this for, the purposes of showing you guys what a rough draft looks like, but I can take another 15 minutes and this will be good.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's a huge takeaway for everyone here, is that you can publish first drafts of tools and then come back a few hours later, a few days later, and improve them before many people are going to even discover them. Like that's a trick I use for myself all the time, to like publish stuff before it feels ready, and then I'm hooked in to be like, "Oh crap, I got to go make that better
Yep.
before I get embarrassed."
Yep, exactly. It's like the pressure is on once you hit publish and it's just a draft. Like you got to get in there and get it done. No, totally agree.
Yes. I want to pull up a question that I think a lot of people probably have here on the stream. I assume it's best to drive readers back to the page with the tool on it rather than embed the tool in multiple posts. Now, I actually recommend doing both. So, having a dedicated landing page like this one right here that Sadie has on her site, that's designed to rank in Google search for this exact keyword phrase. Facebook name generator, Facebook name ideas, how to come up with Facebook name ideas. This tool is going to rank for those kinds of topics and terms in a Google search. So that's number one. Having a dedicated page is probably the best thing you can do from an SEO standpoint if you want to get traffic to your tool pages, which if you're going to make them anyway, you probably should optimize them to get traffic. That's my advice. Now, the question was also, do you want to embed the tools in other posts or just point people to this page every time? I highly recommend having one lead magnet, no more than one lead magnet within a relevant post. So Sadie could embed this tool inside all of her 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 posts on her site that talk about Facebook group naming. And I would imagine she has a decent amount of content that is kind of in this cluster of keywords. And so having a tool that helps people do something related to the topic of whatever post they're on is a really smart practice. And having the tool embedded inside the post on your page also will help increase that time on page that people are spending. So my answer, embed these in blog posts. Don't do more than one per post though. It starts to get kind of confusing. You can mix up the intent. Ask people to do too many different things is its whole other problem. So I recommend just one sort of lead magnet or tool embed within a post. Make sure it's super topically relevant, and then you're going to be going down the right track. And then if you want, you can also link to this tool landing page from your blog posts where you're embedding this. And you could just say, like, directly under the tool itself, you could have a little paragraph, a little sentence here that just says something to the effect of, you know, want more advice, check out the full page and tool over here. And you could link to it with anchor text like Facebook group name generator. And so you're sending all those positive signals to the search engine algorithms and interlinking your tools, your posts. It's all positive things to do. But short answer, you can do both.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned this is something I've really been trying to drive home with my VIPs, especially, is to create one lead magnet per cluster. Like they start with, like whenever we first start, just so they don't get overwhelmed, we do one lead magnet per category. But then after they have the lead magnet per category, as soon as they start, going into their cluster, one lead magnet per cluster. And then once someone's bouncing around in all of your posts in the cluster, they've seen the lead magnet 5 times, they're finally going to sign up the 5th time maybe. Like if they didn't sign up the first time or the second time, you just keep sending them back to it. And this is linked in I have a Facebook group management small cluster. It's got like 8 posts right now, but it's starting. And so I have a landing page that's linked in my main menu that says Facebook group management. And then inside of that page, oh, there you go. So I didn't link to it right. Thanks for showing that on the
I can see it here.
call.
On live demos, we're going to have some snafus.
But this one right here, I don't even know how I can get that. Oh, here we go. This is the chat that I can send.
This is great though. Like
so really that's my category page. But then I just put in the chat in YouTube. Oh, my husband and I are signed under the same YouTube right now. It says Wondering Smileys. But that right there goes to a landing page that I just started creating called Best Facebook Group Growth Tips. And then it links to all of my posts. So this is just like the native WordPress thing that was set up, right? But then I just started building, this is the category page, right? I just started building an actual landing page. Nina from She Knows SEO, she hammers that in all the time. So I finally am like, okay, I'll do as because I tell people to do it too. I just haven't done it. So I finally started building, a landing page, and I linked to the Facebook group name generator from that landing page. So yeah, all of the posts in this cluster will link to the Facebook group name generator now that page is created.
That's a super smart approach. I love that. And you like, if you just build out all your clusters with one main like interactive lead magnet that you can embed in
Yes.
virtually all these posts, and when someone uses the tool, it asks them to sign up with their email address or it promotes some other call to action. I mean, you're definitely going to be seeing your email subscribe rates go up because the more often you ask, the more often people are going to join. You have to
Hmm.
ask people to join your email list in order to get them in your community, and then that gives you opportunity to build relationships and find ways to win-win monetize with them. So, I love all of this. Now, I want to transition here to now that we've got half our session behind us, we have half of it still remaining. And I want to do some live demos of making tools based on the websites that y'all have. And so, Sadie, if you want to pull someone from your crew, I think I didn't realize this. I think if someone watching the stream pastes a link, like the link to their website,
Does it not
YouTube
go?
might like not allow the comment to go through, so that might be my
Yep.
bad. But if
That's
you
okay.
know some people's websites, I'd love to pull some people from your crew and we can do some live demos and give people some like real actionable advice on how to make tools.
Did that last comment go through? I took off the .com for them, so maybe
Ooh,
we'll
let's
see.
see. I don't see it
It
yet.
says Pam. It says Pam Allen online
Oh
and
yeah, we
Quest
got this.
Mystic.
Okay.
Okay, those are two people earlier that commented that I saw were on here. Um,
Awesome.
and then I don't know, Lindsay's here. Organize your online biz. I don't know if she has one yet, but Lindsay, organize your online biz. She um, sells spreadsheets and teaches people how to make Google Sheets in her membership. And I don't know if she has one yet, but a spreadsheet idea generator or something would be really good for her, I think.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, okay, I like this. Cool. Can you drop the link to her website in there, minus the .com
So,
also?
yes, yes, yes. There
This is so
we
fun.
go.
While you're doing that, I did pull up an example from someone, another Right Blogger customer who
Cool.
shot me their website. And so we'll run through this real quick and then we'll hop into a few from your crew.
Awesome.
All right. So I had someone reach out. What was your name? I think Lavina. Yes, Lavina at Virtual Edge Connection. They produce events, private corporate events, things like that. I want to show you from start to finish how I come up with good tool ideas and then quickly make them. And Sadie, hop in here anytime if you got feedback you want to add. But starting point was I wanted to figure out who's the target audience here, right? So sometimes when I look at a website, it's not super immediately clear to me who their target customer is, who the person is that they want to come sign up and click this get in touch button. I like that there's get in touch button here. It's very clear action you want people to take. And basically we're saying private event planning, corporate events. That's kind of the take here. But I just asked inside of Right Blogger chat, which is something you can use right here, always located on the tools left-hand side. And we have our chat plugged in with a bunch of different data sources. You can kind of think of this as like a souped up chat GPT with a bunch of stuff. You can generate images in it, get keyword data. But I just started by asking who's the target customer. And we got a really comprehensive breakdown, which was too much for me. I wanted to just read the summary. So I read the summary right here. I'm not afraid to say that I'm lazy too. And once I understood this, I said, what are a few ideas for interactive tools I could make that help their target customers around event planning topics? And I have an entire tool that will do
Ooh.
this for you right here on my blog. If you go to ryrob.com/tools, you will find this lead magnet idea generator tool. I'll drop this into the chat here as well. So if you want to not fiddle around with using chat to get your insights and answers, you can just use this tool to come up with ideas for you. But right here, we got a ton of really good ideas when I just prompted chat to figure out some potential tools we could build. And I gravitated towards the event timeline generator. This is something that AI is very, very good at now, is like taking a bunch of inputs on things you need to get done about your event and helping me come up with the first draft of a timeline. So what I would do from here is I would copy this right here. And if I wanted to just quickly make a tool for this, we're going to do this so fast, guys. There's much more nuance to this, but I want to do this quick so we can show as many as we can. I'm going to click Add New Tool once I'm inside Tool Studio here. And if you've been using WriteBlogger for a little while, you're going to get suggestions right here on specific tools that you should make. AI is saying, hey, based on the stuff you write about, you talk about, you create content about here, here's an idea we think you should do. And so if you click the Use Idea button, it's going to pull over the suggestion here. If you want a new example, just click Generate New Example, and it'll get to work coming up with a new one for you. But we want to do this event timeline generator tool. So I pasted that in there, and I want to just word this as like normal human speak. So I'd say something like create an event timeline generator tool, and then where users select the event date and the tool builds a custom planning timeline with key milestones, book venues, and invites. Finally, this is pretty great. And reminders leading up to the event day. That's definitely more than enough. You could leave it as like right here. You could leave it as something this simple. And what I love about the way that Andy, shout out Andy, built this tool studio is that AI is now taking these rough instructions we sent it, literally a sentence about what we want to make as a lead magnet. AI is now making this tool behind the scenes for us. And so here we immediately get our first draft. And this is a preview over here on the right side. The left is all the details where you can do the editing, the building, the customization. You can even change the prompt behind the scenes. You can make this really personalized and really geared around what your unique advice and take is. But there are tons of options for personalizing this. Just to quickly show you a couple, you can do custom colors. Ooh, I don't know about yellow. That's a little much for me. But let's say this is kind of what fits your brand, colors for your site, some oranges, some grays. This is kind of fun. I like this. You can save that, and then the preview is going to update. You can click this little pop out and see what it's going to look like when you embed it on your site right here. And what's really nice about how this is built is that any changes you make will immediately reflect, as soon as you click save, will immediately reflect to any tool embeds you have across your site. So if you already have this lead magnet published on a blog post and on a landing page, or maybe it's in 5 blog posts, any changes you make will automatically reflect there.
I feel like
Yeah.
that is such an underrated, like, I don't know if we have enough OG bloggers here to understand how
The manual
amazing.
BS.
Yes, like how amazing that is. I still have like a little bit of blogging PTSD from when I had to go in and like update my freebie manually across like 180 posts because we didn't have reusable blocks back in my day. You know, this right here, like not having to go in and edit, like it updating on its own, absolute chef kiss. Like whenever I learned it, I was so excited when Andy said that's how it worked. I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I'm not going to remember where the heck I put all these, and then I'm going to have to make an update and find the 13 posts and all of that. So yeah, that feature alone is just, it's epic.
Yes. And Tisha, shout out for asking the question of the day. So the lead magnet part of this, yes, thank you. It only took us 40 minutes to get to it, is if they want to get the results, they need to provide their email. Short answer, yes. Now, I'll show you just real quick. One of the options here inside Tool Studio is this tab called Call to Action. You definitely want to activate this. We leave it off by default just to avoid complexity if you're just playing around and testing things, but you definitely want to turn this on. I recommend doing email capture, and it's going to add this call to action right here. This is the preview of what it's going to look like. And so you can enter a heading like sign up to get my best event, if we can spell today, planning tips, right? And I'm not really thinking about this. You can make this way more compelling if you spend some time with this. And this is also, your biz, not my hypothetical thing here. Enter your email address to get all of my best content delivered weekly. Something like that. Now, if you want to make your call to action way more specific and compelling, like you have a specific thing that you'll be sending people after they sign up from using this tool, which is a very good idea. Like Sadie, for example, after someone signs up using her Facebook group name generator tool, she might want to send them a guide related to something on like growing your Facebook biz or like how to grow
I
your
have one of
Facebook group.
those.
That's
I
it.
do. It's one of my Facebook group freebies. One freebie for per cluster, you guys.
I love it. Cool. Cool. That's perfect. And so, you've got some more options, examples here. Button text you can customize, success message you can customize. Just click save. And as people join, as people sign up with their email address here after they use the tool, you will see them for now pop in right here. This is version 1. Right now, as we speak, Andy's working on integrations with MailChimp, with Kit, with Beehive, and then I think the fourth one we're doing is going to be Zapier so that you can connect to all of the other email service providers out there. And so he's gonna hate me for giving a timeline, but like he he's hoping that by next week or maybe the following at the latest, all of those integrations are going to be live. So you'll be able to immediately add people straight to whichever email service provider you're using, and you'll be able to set which tags to apply to them, which sequences to add them to, so that, hey, someone who signs up for this event planning timeline tool, drop them into this welcome series that sends them this email and that email and this freebie. So you can get pretty customized with the experience you're creating for people very soon. But for right now, all of your emails will collect right here. Last but not least, a couple other tabs here. Analytics, this will just show you how often your tools are getting used, how many uses it's clocking. And then as we let this load here, the page content, here's the embed code. This is where you're going to grab, you're just going to copy this. And if you use WordPress, you'll just add a custom HTML block and then paste this code straight in there and it'll load straight away. Okay, so last but not least, this is the low-key super helpful SEO stuff. I get so excited about this right here because this is basically everything you need to make the landing page, right? Like here's the landing page version Sadie has, is this right here. This was all generated using this as a first draft material. And so for this event timeline generator, it nails it from an SEO perspective. It knows to put that target keyword phrase right up front, custom planning made easy, free AI tool. It writes a meta description, and then you've got an entire first draft of landing page copy that teaches how to use the tool. It talks about key benefits and features, some examples, and then frequently asked questions. And we can see this 604 words. You'll probably want to like punch this up. And I know, Sadie, you're going to be like tuning your landing page up too. Maybe aiming for around 1,000 words is probably about all you need to really set your landing pages up for SEO success. But we wanted to make this as easy as we could. Cool. I want
I
to do
love it.
more examples. Sadie, I saw that we dropped in a few more
Yeah.
people from your audience. Do you want to choose someone to come next?
Yeah, so we have Pam, Lindsay, and Carolina. So Lindsay is the Organize Your Online Biz, and she's the one that I think she should create like a spreadsheet idea generator because she teaches her people how to use Google Sheets. Like she has a PLR membership, so you go in, you can grab all of her sheets and then change them into your own. So I think for like the free tool would be getting them to think of what sheets they want to create. So a spreadsheet idea generator.
I like this.
And her people are, she has some B2C people that'll just come in and get her stuff, but her people are like B2B people. So I would come in and use this and it would say, like budgeting worksheet if I was a finance person. Does that make sense? Like my blog's about finance. I would come grab a financial budgeting sheet from her and brand it for my own. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like this. So like we definitely want a field that allows someone to say what their niche is or like what
Yep.
their business, what their type of
Yep.
business
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Okay. Niche and or type of business.
And
And
she put in the chat, she said, what business spreadsheet do I need based on this problem? So, like, the user could put the problem in, and then the AI gives an idea for a solution.
cool. Suggestions for spreadsheets solutions. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Create a spreadsheet idea generator tool that takes into account the user's niche and or type of business and the user's problem with suggestions for spreadsheet solutions. Pretty
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Maybe a good first start? Okay.
Yep.
Let's let's see what the AI does with it. This is part of the fun, honestly, is seeing like which direction AI takes these in. Because sometimes it comes up with stuff that I'm like, oh my God, what a no-brainer.
Yep. Like, I never would have thought of that. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cool.
Okay, so we've got the business niche or industry, right? So
Yep.
like, let's just say personal finance, and we should just show an
Yep.
example of like how this works.
Yep.
Business problem or challenge. Do we want to try and come up with one as an example?
Um, I think personal finance is fine, and let's see what it comes up with. And then maybe in the spreadsheet purpose, we could say something about helping with budgeting.
Cool. Okay. Helping with
Because if I
budgeting.
was using this tool, I don't know that I would really I don't know that I would know the problem. Like, if I didn't know what I wanted to create, I don't know that I would know the problem, but I like that that's an option. So,
Ooh.
yeah, let's see what it says.
That's actually a great point. And so, just to show everyone watching, as you get the first draft of your tool here, let's say this field doesn't actually make sense once we see it visually. You could come over here to the fields option and you can make edits about any of these things. You can totally customize everything about how these lead magnets function. But let's just say, hey, that one kind of sucks, doesn't make sense. Let's delete it, save, and boom. Now we've got a more simple looking tool that I guess would feel less overwhelming to people. Like the less
Yeah. Yeah.
questions someone has to answer, the more likely
Yep.
they are to use the tool.
Yep. And Carolina asked if you give your AI tools a personality in the prompt section. Um, for me, I don't necessarily give mine a personality, but I do make sure that when it spits out the response, I tell it to lead someone to my Facebook group. I don't have mine behind an email sign up wall, most of them. I did upgrade you guys because I have a bunch of tools that I'm building out. So I have a lot of tools, but most of them, the point was to get them to my Facebook group, where they give me their email address anyway. So I do add in a little section in the prompt that says, with each output, include this sentence, and it leads them to, like a blog post or a Facebook group or like wherever I want them to go next. I tell them exactly what to do, and it's added onto the output. But what about you, Ryan? How do you handle that?
I like that quite a lot. I think like use this prompt space to achieve whatever goals you want here. And like,
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
you were saying, like hard coding into the prompt, like at the end of this output, be sure to link to one useful, relevant resource on my blog, and then,
Yep.
your URL here. You could
Yep.
also give it a specific thing that you want at the bottom of each of these tools, and it
Yeah.
could literally be verbatim the copy. Like, for
Yep.
more, read my complete guide to, Facebook group naming, and then
Well,
link
with
here.
this, it would be like, I like the output could be like, do you want me to build these for you inside my membership? I accept requests and I build out spreadsheets for people. So, like, if you don't know how to build this out, like, which you probably don't if you needed the ideas, then your next logical step is to join my low ticket membership, and you'll get, maybe even put like a list of like 5 of your top spreadsheets you have in there that would cover the gamut of what most people are asking, right? But like, yeah, sign up for my low ticket membership, and then they're in your membership and they can submit the form saying, that they want that in the inside of your membership. Yep.
I love this so much. I want to just see how this works so we can show everyone how easy this is. At
Yeah,
the
so far
end.
whenever I've tried it, it does everything verbatim, like just exactly how I told it to in the prompt. So I think that it's a really good thing to do, to add that little like next step up in there.
Cool. So as we've been talking, I made two changes here. I added the call to action. So this
Beautiful.
is what this will look like call to action wise
Ooh, I like
when
that.
you have just the email sign up added to your tool. It displays
Perfect.
between here, between the tool and the output so that people have the opportunity to join. And a quick note on this. We've been asking for feedback from y'all, and so you guys are the people we want your feedback from. Would you want the option to be able to say, hey, display this email sign up widget only, and only once they sign up should you display the outputs? Or maybe you want to control, like, let the first one go for free, but when someone uses it a second time, then
Hmm.
display the email pop up before they can see the results.
A
We're
lot of people
really
were asking
interested
that
in
in the
that.
chat.
Oh,
Yeah. A
perfect.
lot of people were
Yes.
like, is this like, are you gatekeeping the answer behind? And I thought that was like the option. So they don't, it's not gatekeeping the answer. Right. Do they have to enter the email to use it? No, they get to use it. And then because you delivered value, they're more likely to put their email in. Or if you want to gatekeep it, he's saying that hopefully they could build an option to gatekeep the results. But I think that's great. But I also would encourage you guys to keep in mind that if I have to put my email in to get the results, I'm putting in a spam email. Period. 100%, like literally 110% of the time, if I'm forced to put my email in to get the results, it's a spam email. But if you deliver excellent value and I'm like, oh, dang, that was awesome, bam, you get my best email that I actually open. So I just want to preface with that before you guys make that decision. And obviously, it's a great option to have if you guys can add that. But just the people that are watching, like, I want to preface with that as a user, you know?
I will add too, from my experience with all of these tools on my blog, these tools are getting around 500,000 people every month. And I've tested a ton with this exact question of like, hey, how many times do I want someone to be able to use the tool before they get an email pop up? And
Yep.
I have found that allowing people to do basically 3 free uses before forcing the email sign
Hmm.
up,
I
but
like that.
making it visible, displaying it
Hmm.
to them, giving them the option on the first, second, and third. I think
Yep.
that's what for me has shown
I
to
like
work
that.
best for finding that balance between getting the most email subscribers and having quality relationships with those
Yep.
people.
I
Because,
like that because if they're using
yeah,
it more than once, then they like it. Like they're like,
that's
okay,
the
cool,
right
let me do this
person.
again, let me do this again. So that makes sense. And that I would put my real email in. Oh, I need to put my real email in to use it again. Okay, I'll do that. I wouldn't be putting in a junk email just to get the result. So yeah, I love that. I feel like that's a good mix between like not fully gatekeeping all the things, but not letting unlimited uses happen without getting an email in response.
I think we just found the perfect answer. Ultimately, we want you to be able to decide and test this for yourselves, right? Like, this is something, a feature that we will roll out in the coming weeks because I think it's super important that you can also have the opportunity to run these experiments, see the data for yourself, see what works. But yes, from what I've
Yep.
found, like, relationships first. It's just like all
Yep.
things in blogging and content creation. If you're torching the future long-term potential of great relationships with people in exchange for optimizing to just reach and snag someone's email address as fast as you can, that's not
Yep.
the foundation for great relationships. So finding that balance is
Yeah.
what's always going to be key, and it'll be different for different people, different niches, right? But yeah, letting someone get that free value, but showing them like, hey, here's an opportunity to sign up for more. You've got the opportunity to do it something like this. And if
Hmm.
you guys want to also see, this is another idea Andy and I have been floating around a little bit, is should we also display a call to action after the
I
tool
like that.
output? Like maybe
Hmm.
there's a second call to action that you can add and it promotes a guide or something like custom text, right?
I love
So
that.
we want to keep improving this. We want to make it as useful as we can for all y'all. So the feedback here in the chat has been awesome.
I know that we only have a few minutes left. Can we come up with one for Pam? I feel like she
Yes, for
so
sure.
she has a really cool membership. It's called the Template Treehouse, which is inappropriately named because now it's way more than templates. But we won't talk about that. That was
I love that.
that was a mistake on our part. But she creates like journal templates a lot. That's one tiny little part of her membership. I would love for this to be like a journal idea generator.
Ooh.
So then her users can come in and say, I want to make a journal about XYZ, and it spits out an answer. And then it's prompt, like in the prompt, we say, again, if you loved this, like I have 37 journal prompts inside Template Treehouse. Join here. Like always putting them into that next step.
I
And you
love
guys, you were kind of meaning that, like whenever you said putting a second call to action at the bottom, I've just kind of manually added the call to action to tell them to join my membership, just because all roads lead to the membership with Pips. But yeah, that's what it is. Like you're essentially crafting your call to action inside the prompt.
I love that. I think that I mean, you're basically trying to hack around our tool being super simple, which is awesome. As you find hacks that work, please let us know. We want to make it cleaner and cooler and more functional. So I love this idea for Pam. I just added a super simple sentence,
Yes. Hmm.
very
Beautiful.
basic. Like this, you could improve it. You could do a lot of things to, I think, make a better prompt there. But I think
Yep.
once you visually see the tool, that's when most of the editing usually happens for me. Once I kind of visually just see what's actually going on here. Um,
Yeah, like don't overthink the first step, you guys. A lot of people, when this first came out and
mhm.
we did our first live with my VIPs, they were like, I froze up. I didn't know what to put there. Do not freak out. Just put literally a sentence like you were telling me or Ryan, this is the tool I want to build. And then you're going to reiterate what you can change everything. So if it's completely off the mark, you just go in and you update what you're wanting it to do, or even talk to the chat inside Bright Blogger and say, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you help me come up with a prompt idea to put in? And it'll give you the prompt idea, and then you can go from there. So don't overthink that first part.
It's so easy to overthink it and not even do it. But yeah, I love this. Honestly, like that really basic prompt I gave it, which I didn't even think was a great prompt, to be honest. It did something pretty
Good.
good here. Like
Yeah, I
this
love it.
tool has a lot of like unique, personalized, and what I like about it, optional
Optional.
fields. Like this
Yes,
is
yes,
so good. When you have
yes.
any sort of lead magnet with multiple fields, multiple things you're asking people to do, try and make all of like most of them, at least all but one, to make them optional because
Yeah.
not everyone's going to have something to add to all of these. And when they see that they're required, it can be so overwhelming that they might just leave.
Yeah, and a lot of people are using these tools because they're already overwhelmed. Like the tool is supposed to help them
Overwhelmed.
stop being overwhelmed.
The
So,
irony.
right? If they're already overwhelmed and they come to your tool and they have to fill out 12 different spots to be able to get an answer, like they're not going to use it. They're just going to click away. So, yeah, you can put in one required and the rest optional, because some of us will come and those ideas will trigger our brain and be like, "Oh, yeah, I know that answer. Oh, yeah, I know that answer." But we don't know that until we're asked. So, yeah, I like all of that. Oh no, Ryan, this isn't about you
This
personally, is
isn't
it?
personal. I'm tapping into my past here. This is not a current challenge, but if you think about it enough, it can feel real.
Just wondering if you needed somebody to talk to. It's okay.
I love this. Yeah, no better place to air my personal stuff than on a live stream. Yeah, that's so good. I like
Oh,
this though. This is
cool.
this is super simple. Like write about the
Hmm.
parts of yourself you feel proud of right now, even if they seem small.
Hmm.
How can you nurture these
Hmm.
qualities? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really tender and nice.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
something you can do with the prompt here is like, you know, make sure example output, let's see.
So
We
for
want to say
Pam, whenever you're in here, you're going to put in that it's like a journal topic idea generator instead of a journal prompt idea generator. But this, what just came out of this is a whole nother idea for somebody else if they want to do like journal prompts, because PM creates the actual journals that you're going to go in. And the next step would be like join template treehouse to get these journals and sell them to your people because it's B2B. But this is so perfect for
Oh,
somebody who wants journal prompts. Like I can name probably 5 people in the chat right now that can create this exact thing for their websites, the journal prompts based on your niche. So whatever your niche is, journal prompts based on that. That just gave half you guys here an idea for your tool if you didn't have one. That's genius.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, we just hit time. We're a minute over.
Okay.
This has been really fun. I know we got so many great questions. Thank you
Yes.
all for joining. And I want to also invite y'all to ask us questions anytime. You can hit me, Ryan@writeblogger.com. I'm going to drop that into the chat here. So if you want to see, this is how we're measuring how quickly we can build this. If you want to see these features added to Tool Studio around doing things like surfacing multiple calls to action, which email service provider you use, gating content, having the ability to control how often people can generate an output before they're required to sign up with email. Maybe it's once, maybe it's twice, 3 times. If you want the ability to control that, please send me an email, very quick email. Just say something like, give me options in the email subject line, and I'll know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I want to say thank you to Sadie. Thank you to
Yeah, thank you.
everyone who joined here. And I'm going to share the link one more time here to Sadie's Write Blogger link. If you do not yet have a free account or a pro account and you want to sign up, you want to take these for a spin, writeblogger.com/pips is where to do it. Sadie, anything you want to add as final parting words to everyone today?
I think my main piece of advice for all of this, besides use all 3 of your tools because you get 3 with the account still, right? Is that how you guys have it? Yeah. So
Exactly.
besides using all 3 tools, not just one, build all 3 of them. Besides that, think about not just collecting the emails, but like what's their next step? Yes, you want them on your email list. Obviously, that's the first step. But what's the next step? Because you can kind of plant that seed. Like I said, with the manual prompting, like join my membership. Even if they don't join it right then, when you email them and say join my membership, they're going to be like, oh man, yeah, I wanted to join that and I didn't that day because my cat had a quinceanera and I was busy. So I'm going to join it now.
I love that. Great takeaway. Awesome. Well, thank you all. We super appreciate you. If you have any
Yes.
questions, if you use your 3 tools and you want more, we're working on what our next plans look like in Write Blogger so we can get you hooked up with adding more tools. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 25. We're trying to figure out what exactly y'all need. So voice what you want, tell us what you want, and we're going to do it for you. But thank you all. I appreciate you. Sadie, thank you all for watching,
Thank
tuning in,
you.
and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.